And today's lesson is going to be on our second type of special right triangle. These are called 30, 60, 90 right triangles. So in a 30, 60, 90 special right triangle, you're going to have a right angle. One of your angles is going to be 30 degrees and the other is going to be 60 degrees. So when this happens, just like the 45, 45, 90 triangles, you are going to have a special ratio that is going to be true for all 30, 60, 90 triangles. Okay, and in these triangles, the hypotenuse is going to be twice the length of the short leg, and the long leg is going to be the square root of 3 times the length of the short leg. Okay, so here your 30-degree angle is going to be across from your short leg. Your 60-degree angle is across from the long leg. And then your hypotenuse is across from your right angle. Now, if you look at these descriptions here, you see that they're talking about the short leg in each of these ratios. And the short leg is going to be the most important side. That's the side that we are always going to make sure we find first. So if we're not given the short leg, that is going to be the side that we have to find first, because we know the relationship with the hypotenuse in the short leg and the long leg and the short leg. So just like in 45, 45, 90 triangles, I like to make these wheels to help me remember the rules. So in 30, 60, 90 triangles, we're going to have two wheels. So if I'm given my short leg and I want to find my hypotenuse, I am going to take that short leg and multiply by 2. And if I'm given the hypotenuse and I want to find my short leg, I am going to divide by 2. Okay? If I am given my short leg and I want to find the long leg, I am going to multiply by the square root of 3. And if I'm given my long leg and I want to find the short leg, I divide by the square root of 3. Okay? So again, you can see here we have two wheels. Both of them are referencing the short leg. We don't have a wheel to go from the hypotenuse to the long leg. Okay, so again, if you're not given the short leg, we're going to see in some examples, that is always going to be the side that you want to find first. These are going to be a little bit different from your 45, 45, 90 triangles because your legs, if you can see, are not going to be the same size like they were in our 45, 45, 90. Okay, so let's do a couple examples. The first thing we want to do is label each of these sides, especially when you're starting off. So here I'm going to label my short leg. So that is the one that is across from your 30-degree angle. Label my long leg and label my hypotenuse. Okay, so because I'm given the short leg, I can choose if I want to find my long leg or my hypotenuse first. I always think the hypotenuse is a little bit easier because you're not dealing with radicals, you're just multiplying by 2. So I'm going to take this 3 times 2 is 6. So y is going to equal 6 because that is 3 times 2. And my long leg x is going to be 3 times, so my short leg to my long leg is the square root of 3, which is simply 3 root 3. Okay, now if I look at number 2, again, I want to label my sides. So in this case, I'm given the hypotenuse, x is going to be my short leg, and y is going to be my long leg. All right, so again, I'm not going to go from hypotenuse to long leg. I'm going to find that short leg first. So x is going to be equal to, I have my hypotenuse, I want to find my short leg. So I look at my wheel that has hypotenuse to short leg, and I see my rule tells me I'm going to divide by 2. So 12 divided by 2 equals 6. And then once I know my short leg, I can use that to find my long leg. So to get from my short leg to my long leg, I am going to multiply by the square root of 3. So y is going to equal 6 times the square root of 3, which is just 6 root 3. Okay. We'll do numbers 3 and 4. So here again, I'm given my long leg. Here's my hypotenuse. Here's my short leg. So I'm given my long leg. I have to find my short leg first. So if I look at my rule, if I'm given my long leg and I want to go to the short leg, I'm going to divide by root 3. So x is going to equal 7 root 3 divided by root 3. Luckily, those just cancel out, and I get x equals 7. And then if I know my short leg is 7, I'm going to use that to find the hypotenuse. So y is going to equal short to hypotenuse is times 3, or I'm sorry, times 2. So 7 times 2 equals 14. Okay. Number 4, I am given my short leg. I want to find my long leg and my hypotenuse. All right, so again, short to long for x, that's going to be 9 times the square root of 3. And then short to hypotenuse is times 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. Okay. All right. If I look at number 5, I'm given my hypotenuse. I want to find my short leg first, which is x, and then I can use that to find my long leg. Okay, so my hypotenuse to my short leg is going to be divided by 2, which is 12. Then I'm going to do x, which is my short leg, times my long leg root 3 is 12 root 3. And then number 6, I am given my long leg. I want to find my short leg and then my hypotenuse. All right, so long leg to short leg is divide by the square root of 3. So x equals 11. And then I can use that to find my hypotenuse. So y is going to equal 11 times 2, which is 22. Okay, so all of these kind of worked out nice with the radicals. They canceled out. On the back here, we're going to have some that get a little bit trickier with our radical signs. So if we look at number 7, all right, again, I'm going to start by labeling. I have my short leg, my long leg, my hypotenuse. Okay, and I'm actually going to do that for all of my triangles just to kind of get that out of the way. So again, your short leg is across from the 30 degrees. Your other leg is going to be the long leg, that's across from 60, and your hypotenuse is across from your 90-degree angle. Okay, this is always helpful in the beginning when you're first practicing with these 30, 60, 90 triangles. And you always want to do this just because sometimes your diagrams are not going to be drawn to scale. So you want to kind of get in the habit of labeling. Okay, so if I look at number 7, I am given my short leg, all right, which is 4 root 2. So if I want to find x, which is my long leg, I am going to take that and multiply that by the square root of 3. So here I have 4, and then I'm going to multiply my radicals together. So 2 times 3 is 6, and x equals 4 root 6. Y is going to be my hypotenuse, so I'm going to take my short leg, 4 root 2, times 2. And when I'm multiplying with radicals, numbers outside the radicals get multiplied together. So y is going to be 8 root 2. For number 8, I am given my long leg first. So my only option is to go to my short leg. So I'm going to find x first. So if I'm given my long leg, I want to find my short leg, I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. Now, because both of these numbers are inside radicals, I can just divide them. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we have the square root of 2 there. And then y is going to be 2 times my short leg, which is root 2, to just get 2 radical 2. Okay, moving along, number 9, if I'm given my hypotenuse and I want to find my short leg, I'm going to divide by 2. So when I'm dividing, I'm going to divide my numbers outside the radical, and I'm going to get 3 root 2 for my short leg. And then I need to multiply that by the square root of 3 to get my long leg. So again, when you're multiplying, you're going to multiply your numbers inside the radical together to get 3 root 6. For number 10, I have my short leg. I'm going to find my long leg first, but again, it doesn't matter. I could also find my hypotenuse first. So 2 root 3 times the square root of 3. So if I try to simplify this, I'm going to have 2 times the square root of 9. Now the square root of 9 can be simplified to just 3. So x is going to equal 6. Okay. If I want to find my hypotenuse, I'm going to take 2 root 3 and multiply that by 2 to get 4 root 3. All right, for number 11, I have my short leg x. I want to find I need to find the short leg. I'm given my long leg is 12. All right, so here I'm going to have to rationalize the denominator. So I need to divide this by the square root of 3. Unfortunately, I don't already have something that's in the radical. So if you remember from the last lesson, to rationalize the denominator, you're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by whatever is in the denominator here. So I'm going to have 12 root 3. Now the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9, like we saw up here, which just simplifies to 3. And then I can divide 12 by 3 to get 4 root 3. And then to find y, I'm going to take my short leg, 4 root 3, times 2 to get 8 root 3. All right, and this last example, that's a straightforward 30, 60, 90. I'm given my hypotenuse. I'm going to find that short leg. So 4 root 5 divided by 2 is 2 root 5. And then I can take that short leg, multiply by the square root of 3, and I'm going to get 2 times the square root of 15. Okay, now 13 through 16 are a little bit trickier. So for number 13, I am given a 30, 60, 90 triangle over here, and then I have a square with a diagonal. So I know that these two triangles here are going to be 45, 45, 90 triangles. So we're going to use both of those ratios here. Okay, so I want to find x and y. Now, the only side I'm given is this 14 here, and this 14 here is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So I'm going to label, I have my hypotenuse, I have my short leg, and I have my long leg. So if I want to find this long leg, that's going to help me find x, because I see this as a square, so I have all of these sides congruent. So x is going to be equal to whatever this long leg is here. So in my 30, 60, 90 triangle, I'm given the hypotenuse. To find my short leg, I'm going to divide by 2. So that short leg is going to be 14 divided by 2, which is 7. If I have my short leg, to find that long leg, which is x, I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3. So x is 7 root 3. And then to find the hypotenuse, so now I have 7 root 3 is the leg of my 45, 45, 90 triangle. I want to find the hypotenuse. So if you remember from that last video, we are going to take the leg and multiply by the square root of 2. So 7 root 3 times the square root of 2 is going to be 7 root 6. Okay, number 14 is similar. Here we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. We have a 45, 45, 90. All right, here we are starting with our short leg in our 30, 60, 90. So we have our short leg, we're looking for the long leg. So my short leg times to get to my long leg, I'm gonna multiply that by the square root of 3. So I'm gonna get 2 times the square root of 18. Now we wanna simplify that square root of 18. That can be broken up into the square root of 9 times the square root of 2, which is 3, which is going to be 2 times 3, because the square root of 9 simplifies to 3, times the square root of 2. All right, so x is going to equal 6 root 2 because we're multiplying that 2 times 3 together. So the long leg of that 30, 60, 90 triangle, 6 root 2, is the hypotenuse of my 45, 45, 90 triangle. And now I want to find the leg. So to find the leg, I'm going to take my hypotenuse, divide by the square root of 2, and that leg is simply 6. Okay. Now, number 15 and 16 are going to deal with isosceles triangles. Not isosceles, it's an equilateral triangle. So each side of an equilateral triangle is 16 inches. So I have my equilateral triangle, each side is 16, and it says that I want to find the length of my altitude. So I'm going to draw all my altitude down here, and this is going to create a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, so I have my hypotenuse. I want to find my short leg, which is going to help me find the long leg of this 30, 60, 90 triangle. So my hypotenuse is 16. I'm going to divide that by 2 to get 8. And then my long leg is going to be 8 times the square root of 3. And since we're talking about inches here, we can include that unit. So that altitude is 8 root 3 inches. And finally, number 16, the altitude of this should say equilateral. The altitude of an equilateral triangle is 18 centimeters. So now I'm given the altitude of this equilateral triangle, and I want to find the area. Okay, so if I'm finding the area of this triangle, I need 1/2 of the base times the height. So I am going to need to know what the length of my short leg is. So I know my long leg is 18. To get to my short leg, that is going to be 18 divided by the square root of 3. I'm going to rationalize my denominator to get 18 root 3 over 3, which simplifies to 6 root 3. Okay, now if this short leg is 6 root 3, this short leg here is also going to be 6 root 3. So the total base of my triangle is going to be 12 root 3 if I add those together. And now to find the area, I'm going to take 1/2 my base times my height. Okay, so I'm going to have 1/2 of 18. I can cancel that out to be 12 root 3 times 9, because 1/2 of 18 is 9. And 12 root 3 times 9 is going to be 108 root 3 centimeters squared. And that is going to be the area of that equilateral triangle. Okay, so again, we talked about 30, 60, 90 triangles. I like to use the wheels here. So my short leg to my hypotenuse is times 2. Hypotenuse to my short leg, I'm dividing by 2. And then your short leg to your long leg is you're multiplying by root 3. And the long leg to the short leg, you are dividing by root 3. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can comment below. Thank you.